Hello everybody, I'm Sean Bishop of Bishop Instruments and Bows, violin shop here in London. Today I'm talking about instruments and bows of the month. Where are we now? We're in February, so I've got two great violas to talk about. Both made by Piero Parravicini. He was a maker in Milan, born 1889. He studied with Romeo Antoniazzi. Of course, Romeo Antoniazzi, his brother Riccardo Antoniazzi, they were the pupils of Gaetano Antoniazzi, who was himself a pupil of Cerruti. Okay, so there's a line running through Cremona, and then the Antoniazzi family moved to Milan. They taught Parravicini, and he worked for them for I think 10 years or more, making instruments. So you get quite a few Parravicinis that are actually labelled Antoniazzi. He then worked for the Monzino family as well, and I'm lucky enough to have two violas. They're both made late, 1949. He died in 1957, so he was what, 60, yeah, 60, 70 years old, towards the end of his life. Anyway, you do the maths. They say he made 600 violins. I'm not sure who got that figure, and only 10 violas. Now, I've got two of the violas. I know another two violas, so I know half of his production in the viola world. The violins, I have two at the moment. I've got a 1957, maybe one of the last ones he made. Very beautiful violin. And I've got an early one, 1926, I think it is. Again, it's a lovely violin. Looks very much like a Romeo Antoniazzi. Anyway, I digress. Let's talk about these two violas. Same year. They were untouched when I got them. In a sense, they'd probably been in someone's cupboard. I think the family, I was told that they came via the family, descendants. And we set them up, and my goodness me, they sound fantastic. Let's have a play, shall we? So the way I know what's what is there's one with two-piece back, there's one with the one-piece back. The one-piece back has a little bit of varnish wear on it, so it must have been used at some stage, but I don't think it had been used for 20, 30 years by the time I got it. So let's have a play, and then I'll talk about the bows. Okay. So this is the 49 Parravicini one-piece back. Let's try the other one. Same year, 1949. Both of them have the back length is 41.67 centimeters, which is just under 16 and a half inches. Okay, so they don't feel that big. Actually, they're quite narrow across the bouts, the treble bouts at the top, the upper bouts, we should say. So they're easier to play. String length is I think 36.8. That's within the sort of the norms of a viola of this size. Right, let's have a go of the two-piece back. Which one I prefer? It's hard to say. I've played them both. I always feel that the one piece maybe is a bit more open, but the two piece got nice quality. So, like a lot of things to do with viola, it's up to you to decide which one you like. Okay, but they're both interesting in the fact that I find that they are both in the same model of the Antoniazzi family in practically 1950. So we think of those as being classical models from Milan of the early part of the century, but Parravicini was still making that same model, and I like it. It's a really nice viola model. Let's talk about the bows. Two bows by Victor Fetique, famous Victor Fetique. He was born in 1872, trained in Mirco. He was born in Mirco, like so many of the French bow makers at the early 20th century. Everyone's going to be born in Mirecourt. He trained with Charles Claude Husson, and I think then did some work with Charles Nicolas Bazin, was involved in that, but set up in Paris in about 03, maybe it was a bit later than that. Anyway, he had a very large workshop where he employed, amongst other people, André Rochon, who was his nephew, his brother, Jules Fetique, also another worker. The Morizot family roughed out sticks for him. And so he was very prolific. I have 2 Viola bows. One in particular has incredibly figured grain, and it's an absolutely beautiful bow to look at. Almost feel it should have been gold mounted. The wood is that fantastic. Made in about 1915, I think. They're both, one's 1915, one's 1920, with the rounded frogs. Both great weights, 70 grams strong, make a great sound. And as I keep harping on these social media events, half the price of a Sartre. Okay, so they are really great bows. I've got lots of Fetique violin bows. I've got a cello bow actually as well, a very beautiful bow. And Fetique is definitely a maker I would be looking to if I was going to spend a bit of money on a great French bow. Anyway, 2 Italian violas by Piero Parravicini, 2 French viola bows by Victor Fetique, and we'll see you next month. Okay, bye-bye.